Ugh. Bro, what time is it? Shoot, I still have an episode to do. Hey guys, it's your host, Michael Wong, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Shenanigans. If you're here after listening to the first episode, thank you for coming back. Thank you for not being bored out of your mind after listening to me yap for 20 minutes last week. And if you're new here, welcome. We're so glad to have you here listening to This Week in Shenanigans. Again, this show is about dissecting news, sports, and whatever else that I feel like talking about, all with a very laid back and sometimes humorous lens. A lot of different things happen in the world today, and now I'm here to talk all about it. But before I get into that, though, a little bit of a disclaimer. I actually had some stuff going on in my own life. I just got home from my freshman orientation at the University of California in Riverside, and I didn't have much time to prepare an episode. So this one might be a bit shorter, but I promise you it will be just as entertaining. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we got the news of the week. First off, biggest news of the week, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, the presidents of the United States and Russia, respectively, met on Friday at a summit in Alaska to try to broker a deal for a ceasefire in Ukraine. For context, the Russo-Ukrainian war has been raging for about 3.5 years now and has claimed the lives of thousands of people, including a great number of Ukrainian civilians. One of President Trump's 2024 campaign promises was to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. However, it appears that his effort to do so on Friday was fruitless. According to many major news institutions, there was no deal that was brokered between President Trump and President Putin. When speaking to media following the summit, President Trump suggested that there should be a meeting between Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. However, this was very vague, and President Trump made no indication as to who would organize this meeting, when this meeting would be, and if he himself would attend. Now, enough politics. Let's talk about some space news. 2025 OJ1 is a near-Earth asteroid that is about 300 feet wide, about the size of a 30-story building. NASA announced that it recently made a relatively, quote-unquote, close flyby of Earth at about 3.2 million miles. Now, I don't know why NASA is always saying all the stuff about like close flybys of asteroids and stuff when the distance between that and Earth measures in the millions of miles. Let me try to illustrate this for you a bit. The diameter of Earth is about 12,475 miles. So 3.2 million miles is about 256.5 Earths. You could fit 256.5 Earths in the distance between the Earth and this asteroid that came so freaking close to us. Let me give you another illustration. Let's say you're driving down a road, right? And some other car comes up and merges into your lane right in front of you. And you're panicking, thinking, oh my gosh, they were so close to me, they could have hit me. When really, they merged 3/4 of a mile in front of you. Look, I'm not saying it wouldn't be bad if an asteroid hit the planet. Obviously, that'd be like some really, really bad stuff. But I don't understand why NASA insists on using the words relatively close when describing an asteroid that might have come like a few million miles away from Earth. I guess since everything's like so far apart in space, a few million miles is, I guess, close relatively. But when you use words like that, it just kind of freaks people out. Like, not everyone is like familiar with like the vastness of space. So when people just say, oh, an asteroid's close by, everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, we're all going to die. Oh well, that's all for the news of the week. Now let's talk about sports news. First off, the Dodgers. Earlier this week, they were swept 0-3 in a series against the Angels in Anaheim. The legendary baseball club, might I remind you, also lost all 3 games in its series against the Angels in Chavez Ravine back in May. You know what this means? That's right. The Los Angeles Dodgers are officially 0-6 against the Anaheim Angels. That's right, I still call them that. In the year 2025. Who could have seen this coming? Definitely not me. The Dodgers have one of the best rosters we've ever seen in baseball ever. And to get swept by a team like the Angels, I just can't believe it. The Angels are far from the worst team in baseball, but I just don't understand them. The Angels, I feel like, are always so close to 500. And if you don't know sports, basically 500 in sports means that you've won and lost just as many games. They're always so close, but they can never get enough wins to just make it over that mark. The series of losses by the Dodgers were of no fault to Shohei Ohtani, who used to play for the Angels and now plays for the Dodgers. In fact, when the Dodgers played the Angels in the final game of the series on Wednesday, Shohei Ohtani took the mound at Angel Stadium for the first time since he left the team after the 2023 season. He pitched great, he batted great, but the Dodgers came up short, losing 6-7 in 10 innings. Now up next, UCLA football. Let's talk about Nico Iamaleava. So for some context, Nico Iamaleava is a college quarterback. He comes from my hometown of Long Beach. He initially went to the University of Tennessee, but this past offseason, he hit the transfer portal and ended up at UCLA. Now, after Nico's fallout with the University of Tennessee, a lot of people didn't believe in him at UCLA. But according to reports, he has been impressing at UCLA's training camp. UCLA has a lot of people who've been around quarterbacks who ended up going on to be first-round picks in the NFL, including general manager Khari Darlington. He says that Nico definitely has the potential to be an NFL first-round pick himself. He's exhibiting a lot of the football IQ that those first-round picks often exhibit. Now, remember, UCLA plays in a tough conference. They're in the Big Ten, and they have to contend with schools like Washington, like Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, who are the reigning national champions, by the way. But UCLA, who formerly had just a 5.5 projected win total this season, they have the potential to be competitive in every single game as long as Nico Iamaleava continues to impress like he has in training camp so far. For the remaining time in our sports segment, let's talk about the NBA. The NBA just released their full season schedule, and today I'm going to talk about some of the matchups that I'm really liking for their opening week. We got some really great matchups on tap, and I'm going to talk especially about two of them. So the first one I'm going to talk about takes place on tip-off night, Tuesday, October 21st. The Golden State Warriors travel to LA to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to see another chapter of Steph Curry versus LeBron James. Now, these two guys are getting really old. Curry is 37 and LeBron is 40. We don't really know how much of their matchups we're going to see anymore, so we really want to savor this one while it lasts. Both of these teams are supposed to be very competitive this year. They both got great acquisitions mid-season last year, the Warriors landing Jimmy Butler and the Lakers landing Luka Doncic, and they're both projected to finish at similar spots within their division. So let me just say that this matchup is bound to be a competitive one and will keep you on the edge of your seat. So mark your calendars for 7 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, October 21st. This game will be viewable on Peacock and NBC. Next up, guess what? We have a finals rematch. Remember, back in June, the Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the Indiana Pacers in 7 games to capture their first NBA title ever since the move to Oklahoma City. Now, we get a rematch. Thursday, October 23rd at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Thunder travel to Indiana to take on the Pacers in Indianapolis. Oh boy, who could forget the 7-game series that took place between these two teams back in June? Who could forget Tyrese Halliburton's game-winning shot in Game 1 with 2 seconds left on the clock? Not even that, actually. If you'll remember, Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and the Oklahoma City Thunder went on to win that game. Back in July, the Pacers said that, unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton will have to miss the entire 2025-2026 season. That's tragic, honestly. Achilles injuries are no joke, and they've even been known to end the careers of some players. We should be considering Tyrese lucky that he's only missing a year, and now our hope is that he'll return in 2026 better than ever. Until then, let's focus on this matchup. Oklahoma City, along with their star player and reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, should be the favorites to win this game. However, we shouldn't count out the Pacers just yet. But even without Tyrese Halliburton, I don't think we should be counting the Pacers out for this game. Remember, they still have a really great supporting cast, including Andrew Nembhard and Pascal Siakam. Either way, this should be a really competitive game, and it's a must-watch. Circle it on your calendars. It is Thursday, October 23rd at 4:30 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. Finally, let's get into our wild card of the week. This week, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about my beef with the UPS company. So, it's story time. About like a month and a half ago, I'd say now, I ordered an Apple Watch Series 10 from Costco. They didn't have it at my local Costco, so I just wanted to have it delivered to my door. And they use UPS for it. Initially, I didn't really think much of it because I thought, UPS is just another delivery company, whatevs. So I ordered the watch, right? And it's supposed to come in like a week from that day. I ordered on Wednesday. It's supposed to come in the next Wednesday. So I'm like, all right, that's fair. But then Tuesday night comes, and I checked to make sure my package is still coming the next day. And it said, oh, your package has been delayed till like Thursday. And you know what? That ain't really a big deal. Stuff happens all the time, so it's like, it's whatevs. So I wait till Thursday, right? And that evening, me and my family, we went out to dinner, and then we went to my grandparents' house, right? So we weren't home. I checked to see if my package has been delivered, but on the website, it says recipient refused delivery, and the package is being returned to the processing facility. And I'm like, what? Who refused delivery? I wasn't home. No one in my family was home. So who could this guy have talked to? Like, did someone, like one of my neighbors, just come outside their house and decide to troll? I don't know what could have caused it. The next morning, we get a notification from Costco, not from UPS, from Costco. And they say that package was reported damaged. Remember, Costco said it was reported damaged. UPS said that we refused the delivery, even though we didn't. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck's going on? So we try to get in contact with Costco, and what the Costco rep thought happened was that the UPS driver was liable somehow for the damage of the watch. And in order to not get caught for it, they just tried to like say we refused delivery, so it was like it was on us, and then return it to the facility like nothing happened. Now, that pissed me off. It really did. And it took me another week until I actually got that watch. And when I finally got it, I could sort of understand how it got damaged. They put it in like the tiniest package with like no padding and just left it on the floor outside my door. And I was like, shoot, you could have at least like put it in a box with some packing peanuts or like put it in like a bag with a bunch of foam. But nope, it was basically just a plastic bag that they left on the concrete right outside my door. Overall, very dissatisfied. Thankfully, that watch is okay. In fact, I'm wearing it right now. It works great. But still, that experience just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Fast forward to fairly recently, okay? I got some money for my birthday, and I decided to order the jersey of one of my favorite football players, Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter. Stick around for the next few weeks. I might talk about him on the show. But I ordered his jersey, right? And it's supposed to come in a week, like 6 days from the day, 5 days from the day I ordered it. I ordered it on a Saturday. It's supposed to come in on a Thursday. I checked back on Thursday. It says your package was delayed by 1 day. So it was delayed to Friday. Again, no big deal. Packages get delayed all the time. I don't care about a 1 day delay. But then I checked, like the little track your package thing. And it appeared that on Friday morning, when they said they deliver it, my package had not left the state of Maryland. I live in Southern California. That's on the other side of the country. And I'm like, how are you saying it's going to be delivered that day? Do you have some like teleportation device or like some crazy like Mach 5 gajillion jet that I don't know about? Anyways, my package, like they ended up just saying, oh yeah, we don't know when it's going to be delivered. And that's pissing me off because like, again, that experience with the watch was not too long before that. It still wasn't that long ago, but it wasn't too long before that. And I was getting really pissed off at these guys. Like, how are you one of America's largest like courier companies if you can't even like deliver a simple package on time? Like, shoot. I ended up getting that jersey the following Monday, and it's a great jersey. But nevertheless, UPS, I am pissed off at y'all. Y'all need to hire some more competent workers, or at least work at training the ones you already have. Well, I think that'll about do it for this week. I know it was a shorter episode since, had all that stuff going on, but thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for listening to the second episode of This Week in Shenanigans. I have been your host, Michael Wong, and until the next shenanigans.